Welcome to the Puppy Prep program. My name is Stephanie, and I am the owner and head trainer of Positive Connection Dog Training. I want to first congratulate you on your new addition to the family. What an exciting time. There is just nothing better than watching a puppy and having puppy kisses and cuddles. It is just absolutely delightful. Not only is it delightful, but this is an awesome responsibility. There are definitely going to be times where you're going to be frustrated and you're going to think, what was I thinking getting a puppy? And that is absolutely normal. My job here is to support you in your journey of creating the dog that you want. I want to also tell you a little bit about what this program is going to be about. I work with lots and lots of rescue dogs, and they're always about 1 to 1.5. That is the general age of the dogs that I get to rehabilitate. And I deal mostly with dogs that have separation anxiety, fear of people, they have bite inhibition, they have resource guarding, they are fearful of sounds, or they are just bananas, as we like to call them. They've had zero obedience. So they're barking at people. They have reactivity also to either dogs, maybe bicycles, when you take them out for a walk. That's lunging and barking at people while they're on leash. So these are all the types of behaviors that I see day in and day out. And the thought that goes through my mind is, boy, this all could have been avoided had the original owners have participated in the puppy prep program. We could have warded off all of these behaviors, and this dog would never have landed in the shelter had they had done the work early on in the ages of 8 weeks to about 16 weeks. That is the formidable time to ward off all of these things, all that separation anxiety, all that fear, all that reactivity. All of those issues will be non-issues if the work is done between 8 and 16 weeks of age. This is a window of time that is critical to start making associations for your puppy that fireworks are a good thing, that loud sounds, banging, construction, strangers, all of those things are fantastic, that treats come out when these strange things come about, when really tall men wearing sunglasses come. What an exciting time. And that way, when your puppy is an adult dog, like I said, it's a non-issue. Your dog will be so cool and comfortable with all sorts of situations because you did the work early. Now, there are definitely different methods of training. My method is strictly positive training, and there's a lot of ideas around positive training, what it is and what it is not. So I want to clear that up for you right now so you know what the expectations are during our time together. Now, during positive training, I will use no shock collars, no choke chains, no prong collars. I do not use fear and intimidation to train a puppy. They are absolute no-nos, and they will never be seen or used in my programs from puppy to adulthood, ever, ever, ever. Those are called adverse methods. Those are more of an archaic method. They are quick, they're down, they're dirty, to get results really fast for people that are impatient and do not have a sense of what the dog may be feeling when they are reacting, or how they are feeling when they are being shocked. We are not actually, what we're doing in those cases are we are suppressing behavior, but the underlying feeling that the dog is having is still there. We are not changing the brain function. We are only suppressing behaviors. Now, with positive training, which is what we are the path that we're going to be going on, we do not use any type of fear or intimidation. What we do is we create a bond with our dog. We create a sense of trust that this is a safe place for your dog to perform. At no time are we going to be yanking on the leash or hitting our dog for misbehaving. We will be teaching our dog what the expectations are and what what we want them to do when asked. We are going to be doing lots of repetitions. We are going to see our dogs, when they are adults, they are about equal to a 2-year-old human. So your puppy is actually a baby. Now, when is it okay to hit a baby? Never. We absolutely go up in arms thinking of this, but when we have a dog, all of a sudden our mindsets change and we think that it's okay. Now, as I mentioned, those are archaic methods. Positive training are based on present day science-based methods. These have been tested and proved. It's all about animal science and animal behavior. So lots of testing has been done, and it has proven that these methods of positive training are more consistent and they're more reliable, and you will have a happier and more content dog overall than you ever would by using adverse tools. So what the biggest thing here that I want you to get is that it is time to teach. If your dog is misbehaving, that means that we have not done our job to teach them what we want them to do. So we are going to be doing what's called looking for the good. It is proven scientifically that when we look for the things that our dog does good and we reward for those instances, that your dog will then repeat that behavior more often. And isn't that more pleasant? It has been said by Pat Miller, I'd rather have cookies in my pocket than a chain around my dog's neck. And how it is so much more relaxing and fun to be finding all those things that your dog is doing well. And what it pays dividends for us, because we see our dog doing those things more often, and that makes our life so much easier. So we are going to be doing lots of treating with our dog. That does not mean that we are going to be treating our dog forever in its lifetime. We do end up fading those treats out, but when we're very first teaching, we need to be marking behavior when it happens to say, this is exactly what I want you to do. This is what gets you rewards. And your puppy needs a paycheck. So if your puppy needs a paycheck, what do we have? They work for food. So we are going to pay them with food. And that speaks to them. We are also going to pay them with affection. Dogs are so domesticated. They're so far removed from any pack mentality that they are domesticated, and they do like a lot of affection from humans. So that does work as a tool, but not solely. So we're going to be doing a combination of treating and affection to let our puppies know that these are the behaviors that we want them to continue to do. And then, like I said, we'll end up fading those out over time as we get more into obedience. This puppy prep program is going to be primarily focused on socialization. We can always do obedience, your stays, your downs, your loose leash walking. All of those things can be put on any dog at any time in their life. What can't be done is the socialization piece. Teaching our puppies that other dogs are fun to play with. Cats are a fantastic thing. Those are the things that we're going to be working on in this puppy prep program most heavily. That's going to be about 90% of the program. There is going to be a smidgen of obedience, of things that help you with your puppy. I like to find things that are easily implemented in your day-to-day activities. So we're going to be, and also things that are going to make your puppy safe, that are actually obedience things, and as well as safety things. So you're going to get a smidgen of that, and we're going to be doing some foundational work. For instance, with loose leash walking, some very basic foundational work that will lead into the more formal training later. But these are going to be the building blocks. We're setting a foundation for your puppy and from which to build. So before we start using 2x4s to build our house, we're going to lay the concrete, and we're going to level the ground to do for which to lay the concrete, and that's the all-encompassing the big umbrella around this puppy prep program. So during this program, you're also going to be having puppy play dates. You can be watching for those notices of when the puppy play dates, and every puppy in the play date in the puppy prep program are going to be invited to the play date. And we'll be doing stimulating things that won't be about play. The puppies will be playing, but they'll also be while playing, they'll be exposed to a lot of various things that I'll bring to the table. It'll also be a chance for you to check in, and we can discuss any problems that you may be having. The rest of the time, I'll be sending out videos like this for you to be watching, and a checklist with some homework just to keep you on track. Keep in mind that as we go along with the weeks, you're going to be getting new information every single week. But that does not mean that we stop doing the things that we were doing the weeks before. We are adding on. It could be at times overwhelming. I know that you have jobs, you may have children, you have other responsibilities, there's meetings, there's all sorts of things that come up. So the biggest thing that you could do is if you could get in 3 minutes 3 times a day, or 9 minutes of training total in a day, and do a couple things on your checklist, it will pay huge dividends later. You do not have to work for hours and hours. Some of it is just what you do naturally with your puppy. That counts as time. We want to make this easy for you, but it is also a responsibility. You will have to put in the work now so you do not have the problems later. But we're going to take little bits at a time. We're going to look for the good, and we're going to make this as pleasant as possible. So again, I want to thank you for joining the Puppy Prep program, and if there's anything that I could do to help you on this journey, please always feel free to ask. I am your trainer not only on the times that we see each other in person, but I am your trainer throughout the whole 6 weeks of this Puppy Prep program. It is extremely important to me that we get your puppy on the right track. You will be so happy that you did. So with that, we're going to get on to the nuts and bolts and the meat of this program. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm very excited to watch you progress over these next 6 weeks. So thank you so much again, and have a most wonderful time, and I can't wait to meet you and your puppy. Have fun. Okay, Titus and I are going to get started on our marker training. This is called charging the marker word. So I want him to learn that when I say yes when he does something, he's going to earn a treat, and that I'm saying yes in the moment that he does something that I want him to do. So to charge a marker word, it looks just like this. It is one of the easiest things you can do. Wait, that's a bit easier. Come here. Good. Yes. Treat. Yes. Treat. Yes. Treat. Yes. Treat. Yes. Treat. Just like that. Now, this can be done with our kibble at dinner time. You can always take a couple pieces of kibble out of their bowl, and you can charge the marker word that way. He's very interested in these treats. So you can charge the marker word that way and get your repetitions in. So this will be really important because you need to get your marker word in on time when the behavior is actually happening, and that way they are more likely to repeat the behavior. All right, we're going to the next step. One of the very first things you're going to start dealing with when you get your puppy is potty training. Nothing is more frustrating than cleaning up piles and piles and messes. So I have a couple of tips that should wrap up potty training in about 10 to 14 days. And then you should be done as long as you are sticking to the protocol. Potty training is just that. It is training. It is not just when you catch your puppy doing something. It is actively being on schedule, timing, and reward. So if your puppy cannot be loose in the house roaming around, because then you are not training. Your puppy needs to be either with a family member, and that means your puppy is on leash, attached to your belt, or attached to a table leg right next to you. That way you can tell if the puppy is giving you some indication of discomfort or their potty body language, so you can take them out to go potty right away. If you are not able to watch your puppy and have him with you, then the puppy needs to go into the crate and wait there. The crate should be no more bigger than the puppy being able to stand up and turn around. If it is a really large crate, they're able to potty in the back and sleep in the front, or vice versa. So they tend to not want to potty where they're sleeping. So if you've bought a big crate in preparation for your puppy to grow, you can fill it up with boxes or plastic tubs to make it a little bit smaller. Now, the second part that is often missed with potty training is that you go with your dog to go potty. A lot of people will open up the door and let the puppy go out. And then the puppy will come back in the door and potty. So to fix this, you're going to put your puppy on leash, which your puppy should be on leash already. You're going to have some treats in your pocket, because you always have treats on you when you're training a puppy. And you're going to walk out with your puppy on leash. You have 1 to 1.5 seconds to get the treat to your dog so they connect their behavior to the treat and why they're getting that treat. So you have to be very, very close to your dog in order to get it in, the treat to your dog in that amount of time. So and this is why we put them on leash, so they're not able to go potty and then jet off, because we need to get them a treat to say, hey, nice job, you went potty outside. So you're going to walk out with your puppy on leash. You're going to stand there and be watching. Now, as soon as your puppy is done pottying, you'll say, yes, and give it a treat and have a big puppy party, and you're going to pet them and love on them. Just have a big party, lots of love going on to really cement that idea that, yay, you went potty outside. So, then you also are going to be staying on schedule, in that you're going to be making sure that your dog is going potty after naps, your dog is going to go potty after meal time, because those times are when the bowels are stimulated and you're more likely to get the results and stay away from the messes. But if your puppy does mess on the floor, you can only scold your puppy if you catch them in the act of doing it. If all you do is find the mess on the floor that had happened a minute before you walked in, sorry, it has been too long between the time the puppy is pottied on the floor to the time they get punished. So now they think they're being punished for something totally unrelated to the accident on the floor. You've got to keep in mind that puppies do not think like we do. They are in the moment. So whatever they were doing in that moment is what you are cementing as either bad or good. So only scold your puppy if you are catching them in the act of potty. Otherwise, you can scold yourself for not watching your puppy and just clean up the mess and get on with your day. If you have any questions about potty training, please feel free to email, call, or Facebook message me, and I'll be more than happy to help you get through some of the bumps and hurdles along the way with potty training if they do arise. Best of luck! I can't wait to hear about your progress. Okay, Titus and I are going to start working on the name game, and this is how it goes. I'm going to wait for him to look away, and I've got my treats ready. Titus! Yes! And as soon as he looks at me, he gets a teeny tiny little treat. Right now I'm working with the Wellness Soft Well Bites, and so they're little squares and I can pull little pieces off of it. Titus! Yes! And treat. And I'll wait for him to look away. He knows I have the treat. He knows I have them. Say the name one time. I don't want to teach him to ignore me by repeating the name over and over again. So I'll wait for him to look away. I'll call his name once. Titus! Yes! And as soon as he turns and looks at me, I'm going to use my marker word yes, and then I can give him a treat following. He knows where I'm storing them. Good. I'll wait till he looks away. Come back in the frame. Hey, you. Hi, you. Come here. And that's the name game, simple as that. Okay, we're gonna work, sit in front and center. We're gonna work on the gotcha game. This is being able to grab your dog's harness or collar quickly without having them panic, and they often want to duck away as if they were in trouble. So we want to associate grabbing their collar quickly as being very pleasurable. So, treats ready. I'm going to grab onto the harness, gotcha, and then I'm gonna feed. It's a two-step process. I don't want to hold my treats out here. I don't want him focusing in on that, because once I grab his harness, he won't know that I have a hold of the harness, because all he's doing is paying attention to the treat. So I'm going to get my treat ready. I'm just going to set it down here. Gotcha. And I'm going to grab on. Yes. And I'm going to treat him. I'm just going to repeat this and keep it very light. Gotcha. Yes. And we are on our way to a puppy that will not freak out when we grab onto their collar quickly. So, and it is easy as that. Gotcha. Yes. Oh, you dropped it. Good boy. And an extra one just for being cute. All right. So Titus and I are going to start working on some handling. Oh, see, we just got to work. Come here, baby. Come here now. Good boy. There we go. Good job. So we want to be able to handle our puppies. There's lots of things that they're going to be doing in their lifetime. They're going to be going to the vet and being handled. We may be putting snow coats on them. We're trimming nails. We're checking teeth. We're cleaning ears. All of those skills are things that they need to be able to be comfortable with doing. And to build that comfort and that security, we need to start when they're young. So now's the perfect time. The window is wide open to start teaching them that those things are no big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have some treats on me here. And I'm going to start handling Titus's feet and toes. So we are in preparation for getting his nails done when he's a little bit older. So got my treats ready. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to handle. Yes. And he's not thrilled about it, but that'll soon change the more that I do it. So I'll put my treat away because I don't want him focusing on the treat. So I'll just put it down here. I'm going to reach down. Yes. Good. And eventually he'll just sit nice and relaxed as I hold his feet. Yes. That was even better just there when we just started. You being such a good boy. Such a good boy, huh? Touch it. Yes. There, we calm down. I'm definitely going to reward that. So you want to make sure that you're touching all 4 feet. Don't neglect the back feet because those also need to be handled as well. And next we're going to go for the ears in preparation for being able to clean the ears or get your ears checked at the vet. So I'm going to handle. Yes. Good. Good baby. I'm just going to handle. Yes. Good. Nice and gently. I don't want to pull on his ears. I don't want to tug. I don't want him to associate it with any pain. I want just a gentle touch and treat. A gentle touch. What's that? Yes, right there. Keep your body language nice and calm so you don't stress the puppy out. We want them to remain calm in all situations. So then what we're going to do is move on to the tail tug. So I'm going to just put him into my lap a little bit more. He's sliding down here. Come here, Nugget. Come here, baby. Good. Get him right in here. Oh, tired puppy. Good. Pulling on their tail is something that I like to practice when they're so young because it's inevitably going to happen when they're older. Kids might pull on the tail might get stepped on, so we want to make sure that they don't learn to overreact when something like that happens. So again, now is the time to do it with your puppy. So you're going to go into your tail tug. It's going to be a 1-2 step. You're going to tug and then you're going to treat. Don't do it at the same time. I've got my treats ready. So he's ready. Tug. Yes. And treat. Tug. Yes. And treat. Good. A tug. Yes. And treat. Good. And tug. Yes. And treat. Just like that. Very simple steps, but you will reap major rewards by having done it when they're so young. Okay, then you're going to go into a tight hug with your puppy. You never know when you're going to be hugging your puppy tight, and you want them to be comfortable with it. So, hug, yes, and release. Good. Hug, yes. Wanted to get a little squirmy. Good. And a hug, yes, good. Good. Because what are you doing? Just relaxing a little bit. No need to get excited. Did you go both? You're a good baby. Yeah, you are. Good. And so then we're going to hug. Yes. So even here, he gets a little bit owly, and I'm going to treat because I want him associating that tight hug with being pleasurable. He's good. Ready? Yes. Good. Yep. So we're going to try it again. And then we're going to try to end on a good note as well. So right there, he had a little bit of tension, so I wouldn't want to end the session there. I want to get one good hug in, and then I'll say, good job, and then we'll be done with that. So, here we are. Good. Hug, yes. That is it right there. So, moving on. One thing that is often forgotten when having a puppy is something called looming. Looming is when you lean over the top of your dog and touch them when they don't see it coming. This can be really scary to a dog if you don't practice it when they're puppies. They may bolt, they may bite, they may cower, or some dogs can even urinate on the floor. So, I'm not going to have a treat in my hand so he's distracted. I'm going to start with an empty hand, but I'm going to have the treat handy so I can reward his behavior after I touch him and he doesn't see it coming. So you're going to get over the top of your puppy. So even he is a little bit worried. Come here. Come forward. Yeah, come on. That's good. And I'm going to touch him with the hand. Yes. When he doesn't see the hand. So if he keeps looking one way, I'm going to touch him on the other side. Lean over, touch, yes, and treat. Reload. Keep him over here. Stand over, touch, yes, and treat. Good boy. So I'm going to lean over, touch when he's not seeing it, yes, and treat him again. That skill, again, is called looming, and it's very important and critical that you don't skip this step. But you don't need to do a whole bunch of them every single day. If you get it out one repetition and one every day of the week, you've got 7 repetitions out, and your puppy will pay dividends later as an adult. When having a puppy, it's inevitable that you are going to complain about the puppy biting and their razor sharp teeth. oh boy, do they hurt when they bite down. Puppies learn inhibition from people and other dogs, and this is the prime time to be teaching them about biting down gently, and this will help avoid them biting as adults. So what we're going to do is, it's really quite simple. Whenever you feel that your puppy's teeth are coming down too hard on your skin or grabbing at your clothes, you are going to yell out a yikes! And then your puppy usually will start licking your face because they feel sorry that they've bitten down too hard. So anytime you feel the teeth on skin, you want to shout out that yikes to them. What you can also do is, get my treats ready, and take your, you're going to teach them about biting down hard, and that it is best to, or you're going to be rewarded if you bite down gently. So what you're going to do is take your index finger on each side of their mouth when the puppy's in your lap. Yes! And if they bite down gently, you can reward them. Good. Just like that. So, put your index fingers in the corners of their mouth and whoop. Meow. Trying to follow my treat. I gotta put those away. Nothing. Good. Whoop. Yes, good job! Ethan, what are you doing to me? Good. Very good. Look at my nose. Nice job. Good boy. All right. So those are the 2 tricks that you can use to help your puppy learn about appropriate biting, and that's called bite inhibition. Best of luck. Oh, got the tired puppy here. Okay, so right now we're going to go into working on the handling skill of hugging tightly. So this is something that a lot of dogs can be uncomfortable doing, and so we again want to associate it with something that is good, that hugging tightly is a good thing and it's not something to be afraid of. So I've got my treat ready. He's wanting to take a little nappy poo, so I'm just going to hug. Yes. See how I moved there? So he's a little bit uncomfortable with that. And so, whoop, we dropped it. Good. Treat away. Hug. Oh, it's okay. I'm not going to, yes, he's moving around too much. Gentle. Yes. So he needs a little gentler touch to start. So I'm not going to hug him too firmly because that freaks him out. I'll work up to doing it a little bit more firm as we go. So right now, I just want some gentle, just a push. Yes, good boy. It's a good one. Yeah, good. Press. Yes. Good. Whenever you find that your puppy is having a hard time, you want to back off a little bit so they can be successful. So if you can't get your puppy to hold still when you are trying to do a tight hold, do as I'm doing with Titus and pressing my hand on him, and then I can mark. Yes. Good. Excellent job. All right, so that is, that right there is hugging tightly. All right, then we're going to go into opening up the mouth. This is very practical in that we will be usually at some point in our life we're going to be medicating our dogs, and we'll need to stick a pill in towards the back of their mouth, and then there's going to be dental checks that they'll need to do, teeth cleaning and whatnot. So we want to make sure that we can, that we can handle and open up their mouths easily, and that it's not something that's scary. So I've got my treats ready, like we always do with our puppies. Good. Good. Wait. So just the handling right there. Oh my goodness. Good. Touch. Yes. So I backed off a little bit. I can't grab onto his muzzle to lift up his lip with my thumb. And so I backed off with just resting my hand on his muzzle, and I'll treat him for that. As he gets more comfortable with me doing that, then I will start taking my thumb and lifting up his cheek so I can see his teeth. So, good. Yes. Okay, right there, I also added an index finger up into the cheek, and I was able to see his teeth. He knows I have those treats right here. Good. Let's see if we can see from this direction. Good. Oops. Uh-oh. Wait. Good. Insert. Yes! Good. He helped me with his yawn. Puppies are so much help. Good. Yes. That was excellent. He let me rest my hand on his head, and he let me pull up his cheek. That was awesome. It's a really, really good step. Good. So rest, pull up. Yes. Very good. And so just doing a little bit of work, handling their mouth. We don't have to stick our whole hand down their throat. Just a little bit with our hands fiddling with their mouth, and then always rewarding afterwards is going to pay huge dividends. You're going to be so happy you did the work right now. And I think it's Titus's nap time. What do you think? All right, we're going to work on getting Titus to sit. So, come here. Good. Oh. Take your treat in your hand. You're going to come up over his head. Yes. And as soon as that butt hits the ground, I'm going to mark it with my yes, and then I'm going to treat. Good. Come here. Come here, kitty. 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 Come here. Come here. Good there. Now we got him out of his sit. And I'm going to ask for that sit again. Hey, Baba. Right here. Good. Up over his head. I don't need to repeat the word sit over and over again. Good, sit, yes. There we go. Got him up and going. Oh, big cuddles. Cuddles from the puppy. So let's put him out here. Good job. Treat at the nose. Draw it up over the head. Notice he's trying to get it. Yes. There we go. He has no idea he's being videotaped right now. Good, come over here. It's okay if they're licking on the treat, licking and trying to bite at it. Up over the head. Yes, good sit. Very good puppy. Your sit is as easy as that. All right, going into our down. We're first going to get them into a sit, and then we're going to lure them into a down. Heidi. Here you go. Sit. Yes. Give him that. I'm going to stick the treat at his nose like a magnet. I'm going to go slowly down to the ground. Just slowly. Look how he's trying to bite at it. It's okay if he gets off of it. I'm just going to ask him to get back on it again. Oh, Amma. Good. And then ask again. Bring the treat up. Get a bigger treat to hold on to. Oh, big smells. Good. Yeah. Oh, good. This is a great example. I'm glad Titus did this because this is what your puppy's going to do too. They're going to stand up to try to get the treat. So, let's move over here. Right over here. There you go. Good. And sit. Yes. Okay, let's try it again. Back to his nose, straight to the ground. Uh-oh, again, he got distracted. That's a puppy thing. Licking. Down. Yes, good. Down. What do you think? You want that? What do you want this or here? There you go. You get your treat. Very good. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. All right, good. So he's in his sit, and I'll drop it down to the ground. Oh, good. He got up. So all I'm going to do is ask him to sit again. Sit. Yes. Good. And you don't need to keep saying down, down, down. It doesn't do any good. He doesn't know what that is anyway. He doesn't know English, so I'm going to teach him. Patience is key. He's not trying to be naughty. He just doesn't know what I'm trying to ask him. Come here. Good. I know. Good boy. No. Good. Going in this direction. Yes. Good boy. Good down. There you go. Good job. There's another one. Good. So if you just wait them out, they'll do it. It's okay. There's another method you could use too. Look something like this. You sit with your knees bent, just slightly, and you ask them. You put your treat under here, like this. Yeah, okay, so he's getting up. He doesn't know that the treat's there yet. He hasn't seen it. Come here. Over here, quick. Where are you going? This way. There you go. Come here. We're going to switch treats on him. Get some liver out. He might be more attentive to that. And that's why I pack different kinds of treats all the time, because sometimes your puppy can get sick of the one kind. Oh. What do I do to get that? Good. I'm going to give him a little piece because he's starting to go under my legs. And that can be scary to puppies. So I'm not going to make it so he has to wait until the whole transaction is done, because he'll end up giving up. Yes. Good. We're closer. Another little piece here. Oh, yummers. Yes, good, down. And then I'm going to give it to him when his forearms are down. I'm not squishing him with my legs, as they're just creating a barrier that he needs to scoot underneath my legs to get the treat, and he will naturally down on his own. I don't need to push him down or force him down. He'll do it on his own, and then I pay out big time, so he's more likely to repeat that behavior. You won't always have to get down on the floor and do this to get your dog to down. It's just getting him into the body position so he knows exactly what you're talking about when you give him the verbal cue of down. Good. Now you try. Toys are going to be really important to have with your puppy. I really believe that investing in good toys from the start is best. Don't go for cheap always, just go for quality toys. Now, I have provided some here for you. Of course, there's far more than what I'm going to have here, but at least these will give you some ideas of some of the good ones, and I've tried a lot of them myself. Well, I've tried all of these actually myself, and these are some of my top favorite ones. Okay, so we're just going to start. Basically what you want to keep in mind is you want different textures, you want different feels, different sounds, and that way you have a whole variety for your puppy to keep them entertained. These ones are going to be really safe ones to use, so you don't have to monitor them super closely. This is to pacify them if you need to jump on the computer really quick, and this will keep them busy. Right off the top, we're going to go for some of the classic items. First is the Kong here. Of course, they have a puppy one. This one is for adults, but they have the smaller, softer puppy ones that you can buy. And you can always fill these with peanut butter, yogurt, and don't forget during the summer months you can freeze the peanut butter and yogurt, and it'll last longer. It'll take longer for them to lick it out. So this is a really safe item. It is tried and true. I will always have these when I have dogs, no matter what the age. Let's see here. Also with Kong, there's the Tiger Biter. A lot of times, this is a popular item, and you can also fill the inside of it. There's a rim here. You can fill the inside of it with your peanut butter or whatever your puppy likes, and they'll spend time digging it out and gnawing and massaging their gums. So this is also a great purchase. This one is a Kong, it's Iconics, so if your puppy wants to get into a game of tug, this one also massages the gums. So this is just one of the many Kong toys that I like as well, the Iconics. This is the Buoy. This thing is simple but fabulous. This is found at some of the local stores we have in town. And all of these are listed in your packet that you'll be getting, your supplement packet that you'll be getting along with this video. So this buoy here has an opening at the bottom, so you can fill it with whatever you want. Now this one in particular is fantastic for the company Primal raw frozen food. They come in a rectangular shape, they're frozen, it is raw meat and vegetables, and it fits perfectly into the square, and it'll just shake around, it won't fall out, and the dog will take time licking out and trying to get out the meat inside. So this will last a long time, and it'll be very yummy, very enticing for your puppy. So like I said, it's simple in design, but boy, it is really handy to have, and your puppy will get a healthy treat if you go with the Primal brand. But you can always stuff it with anything that you have in the house. So I really like the buoy. Here's another thing that you can stuff. This is a water buffalo horn. Now, I stay away from deer antlers with puppies because they're a little bit too hard for them, and it's good for adults, so I'll leave them for when they become an adult. But for puppies, I use the water buffalo horns. They love to chew on them, and they're safe. They don't shard off, they're not going to harm your puppy, and they last a really long time. Another thing you can do with them is put foil on the bottom of it, fill it with peanut butter, and stick it in the freezer for a while, and then you have a cool treat for summer as well. So these last a long time and are very worth the money. This is a rough root. This is a great replacement if you find that your puppy likes to chew wood. These things also last a very long time. So little of it gets chewed off at a time. Your puppy will be chewing on this for the longest time, and you'll look at it and you won't think that they've ever chewed on it. It's so wonderful. It is also a renewable resource. It actually comes from the root of shrubs and trees in Spain. And so this is the rough root. I really like this product from puppy to adulthood. It is a little bit pricier of a toy, but it's going to last you a long time, and this is something safe that you could put in their crate and not have to worry about them choking on it. Toys like this JW ball are awesome because a lot of the toys that you find in the store just have the squeakers in them, and those are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but this one makes a crinkle sound like a plastic bottle. So this gives your puppy a different sensation, and the rubber around the plastic massages their gums. So this is a pretty inexpensive but valuable toy. Again, get toys that have different shapes and different textures to them. This butterfly here has little spiky doodads that are in the middle. Those are going to massage your puppy's gums and satisfy their need for chewing. So just random toys in different shapes and different sizes. The last toy that I recommend is a Bob-a-Lot. This toy is one like the Weeble Wobbles, and they never fall down. So your puppy, it's a fillable toy. You can adjust the rate at which your puppy can get out the treats, and you can also adjust the hole to the size of your food. So it's or treats, and it's very adjustable, and this will keep your puppy stimulated and working for their food, or if you need to sit down and get something done, you can put a few treats or reserve a little bit of their kibble in the morning and feed it to them in here when you know you have an afternoon project, and they can be working on getting out their treats from the Babolat. This is also a very valuable toy, and it'll get their brain stimulated and trying to solve the puzzle. So this one is an awesome one. Definitely consider it. Again, the list of all these toys are going to be in the packet that will accompany this video, so you don't have to try to remember these. If you have any questions about toys, you can always let me know, and we can discuss the pros and cons to any toy that you may have questions about. All right, moving on.
Well, you completed the video portion of week 1. Yeah, you have a lot of activities to do, I know, and you may be feeling overwhelmed right now, but just keep in mind that you do not have to do all the activities at once and every single day. Pick a couple out to do each day, and you only need to do them for a few minutes a day. You will go miles if you just are consistent and do a little bit each time. Your puppies have really short attention spans anyway, so just do a little bit, keep the training times positive, and if you're in a bad mood, don't train then. Wait until you're in a better mood, and then that way you'll be more positive and excited and relaxed around your puppy. So along with this video, you will also have a homework sheet that's in your email, and you'll want to follow that as a guideline to make sure that you're hitting all the important pieces for week 1. There will also be another handout that has some juicy nuggets about your puppy and some of the critical points about weeks 8 through 16, and just some important points to remember. This is the time that you will make the biggest difference in your dog's life. Remember that. Stick with it. If ever you need extra help, that is what I am here for. Don't hesitate to call or email me, and I will be to your aid and just as fast as I can. It is important to me that you are successful and that your puppy is successful. I want to thank you for choosing Positive Connection for your puppy training needs. I so look forward to watching you and your puppy blossom.